Hey everyone, buckle up because today we're taking a deep dive into some serious team
Oh,
dynamics.
yeah.
We're talking about the business classic, the five dysfunctions of a team.
Yeah.
And,
The classic.
we got to give a shout out to Master April for that awesome YouTube summary
Right.
that really helps break it all down. So
Yeah.
whether you're, facing a big meeting, trying to build a stronger team, whatever it is,
Mm.
get ready for some serious aha moments from
Yeah.
Patrick Lencioni himself.
It's funny. It's a book that really resonates because let's face it, who hasn't been on a dysfunctional team at some point, right? I mean,
Obviously.
Lencioni just nails it when he says the real competitive edge, it's teamwork, but
Yeah.
so many companies just completely miss that mark.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the way Lencioni sets it all up, it's brilliant. He takes us to Silicon Valley,
Yeah.
to this fictional tech company, Decision Tech.
Love it.
And I think that setting makes it so relatable, even if you're not in tech. Like, you could totally picture these characters.
Totally. Yeah.
So Decision Tech starts out, as this hot new startup,
Mm-hmm.
but things go south.
Of course.
They've got this team, brilliant minds,
Mhm.
but they just can't work together.
Yeah.
It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion.
It is. It's classic. And then in walks Catherine Peterson, the new CEO.
Yeah.
Now, Catherine, she comes from a more traditional manufacturing background.
Okay.
So she's not really steeped in that Silicon Valley move fast and break things kind of mentality.
Totally different world, right?
Yeah.
Talk about a culture clash.
Oh, yeah.
And she doesn't exactly ease into the role either.
No.
She spends weeks just observing the team,
Wow.
sitting in on meetings, barely saying a word.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being in that room?
Oh, the tension.
I know, it must have been palpable.
Palpable. It's a brilliant strategy, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Taking it all in, quietly assessing the team dynamics before making any big moves. Reminds me of a master chess player, just carefully studying the board before making that first crucial move.
I love that analogy. And then she throws this curveball, a mandatory team retreat, Napa Valley.
Oh, wow.
And she doesn't back down when Martin, the chief technologist,
Right.
tries to skip out on it for a client meeting.
That's a statement right there. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about Catherine. She's establishing her authority right from the get-go.
For sure.
It's like she's drawing a line in the sand, we're doing things differently now.
Yeah. So at this retreat, it all starts out innocently enough.
Okay.
Icebreakers,
Yeah.
sharing personal histories.
Hmm.
But Catherine, she's got a bigger plan here, right?
Oh, yeah, she's laying the groundwork for trust, vulnerability.
Right.
That's the cornerstone of Lencioni's whole model. It's like he's
Yeah.
saying, look,
Yeah.
you can't have a high-performing team if everyone's hiding behind masks.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And then they bring out the Myers-Briggs, and things get really interesting.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
They uncover some serious personality clashes and this deep resistance to any sort of criticism.
It's not just like surface-level stuff either.
No.
The Myers-Briggs, it reveals some fundamental differences in how they approach, decision-making,
Okay.
communication, even conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the kinds of things that can fester beneath the surface, and just totally sabotage a team's success.
Like a ticking time bomb.
Exactly.
And this is all setting the stage for Catherine's big reveal, the five dysfunctions.
The five dysfunctions, right?
I have to say, Lencioni's framework, it's brilliant
Yeah.
because it's not just theory, right?
Yeah.
He uses the decision tech team
Right.
to show you exactly how these dysfunctions manifest in real life.
Yeah, he connects it to the human element.
Yes.
So let's break it down. Dysfunction number 1.
Okay.
Absence of trust.
Okay.
Think about Mikey, the marketing head, with her outbursts,
Yeah.
and Nick, the COO, and his disrespectful behavior. They don't trust each other.
Right.
And they certainly don't trust Catherine.
That's like a house built on sand.
Yes,
Without that foundation of trust, everything else crumbles.
precisely.
Yeah.
And that leads straight to dysfunction number 2, fear of conflict.
Okay.
Because there's no trust, they avoid real, productive debate. It's all like passive aggression
Right.
and simmering resentment. They're like a pressure cooker about to explode.
Makes you wonder how they ever got anything done in the first place.
It's a miracle they've survived this long, frankly.
Yeah.
And without that healthy conflict, you get dysfunction number 3.
Okay.
Lack of commitment. There's
Right.
no real buy-in, no clarity around goals. They're all just going through the
Just
motions.
phoning it in,
Yeah.
which of course leads to dysfunction number 4,
Yeah.
avoidance of accountability.
Exactly. They shy away from those tough conversations. You
Yeah.
know, those moments where you have to call someone out on their behavior or their performance because
Yeah.
deep down, there's no real sense of shared responsibility.
It's every man for himself at that point.
Yes. And finally, you arrive at the 5th dysfunction,
The grand finale.
the grand finale, inattention to results.
Ah, yes.
Individual egos and agendas take center stage, overshadowing the team's goals.
Yeah.
They're also busy protecting their own turf that they forget that they're supposed to be playing on the same team.
It's like watching a bunch of talented musicians trying to play different songs at the same time.
What a perfect analogy. The result is, cacophony, not harmony.
So what does all of this mean for you listening right now? Think about your own experiences with teams.
Yeah.
Have you seen these dysfunctions in action? How have they impacted the team's performance
Yeah.
and, let's be honest, your own sanity?
These aren't just abstract concepts. They're real-world challenges that play out in meeting rooms and hallways every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And the scary part is they're all interconnected, right? One dysfunction can trigger a domino effect,
Oh, yeah.
leading to a cascade of negativity and ultimately hindering success.
Okay, but here's the good news, right?
Yeah.
Catherine, she doesn't just diagnose the problem.
Right.
She offers a roadmap for overcoming these dysfunctions. She emphasizes the importance of building trust through vulnerability,
Right.
which I think is something so many of us struggle with.
It's true. We often mistake vulnerability for weakness, but Lencioni, he flips that on its head.
Yeah.
He shows us how vulnerability is actually the key to unlocking a team's true potential.
Yeah. And it's not just about trust, right?
Yeah.
Catherine also champions healthy conflict and debate.
Absolutely. She encourages the team to challenge each other's ideas,
Yeah.
to push back against the status quo, to really dig into the issues.
Right.
You know?
But she also knows that conflict without clarity is just chaos. So she focuses on establishing clear goals and metrics for success,
Right.
making sure everyone is on the same page, working towards those same objectives.
Right. It's about providing that clear direction, that North Star that guides the team's efforts.
I love that.
And let's not forget accountability.
Yeah.
Catherine makes it clear that everyone is responsible for the team's success, not just their individual performance.
Which can be a tough pill to swallow for some people,
Right.
especially in a culture that often rewards individual achievement above all else.
It's a shift in mindset for sure.
Yeah.
But it's a necessary shift if you want to create a truly high-performing team.
And ultimately, Catherine reminds us that teamwork is about putting the collective good above individual egos.
Yes.
It's about celebrating wins together and learning from mistakes together.
It's about recognizing that we're all in this together
Yeah.
and that the team's success is ultimately our own success.
And Lencioni brings all of this to life through some really powerful moments in the book.
Absolutely. For example, there's the scene where the team finally has its first successful collaborative decision-making session.
Yeah.
They're working on a customer acquisition strategy.
Right. And for the first time, you see them truly functioning as a team,
Yeah.
listening to each other, respecting each other's ideas,
Yeah.
and ultimately coming to a decision that everyone supports.
It's like watching a flower bloom in slow motion.
I love that image.
And then there's Nick's transformation.
Yeah.
He starts out as this, cynical, disgruntled executive.
Right.
But as he starts to buy into Catherine's vision,
Right.
he becomes a true team player, even mentoring some of the younger team members.
It's proof that even the most jaded team member can change if they feel valued and respected.
And we can't forget Catherine's decision to let Mikey go,
Oh, yeah.
even though she was a top performer.
Tough call.
It was a tough call,
Yeah.
but it sent a clear message that toxic behavior wouldn't be tolerated,
Right.
no matter how talented the individual.
That must have been a shock to the system for the rest of the team.
Oh, yeah.
It was a wake-up call, for
Yeah.
sure.
It showed them that Catherine was serious about creating a culture of accountability and respect.
And ultimately, we see the team come together
Yes.
to reject a buyout offer, which is
Yeah.
a pretty powerful statement.
Absolutely. They could have taken the easy way out,
Yeah.
cashed in their chips, and gone their separate ways.
Yeah.
But they chose to stay together, to continue building something meaningful,
Yeah.
something bigger than themselves.
It's a testament to the power of teamwork
Yes.
and the transformative impact it can have on individuals and organizations alike.
Now think about your own teams.
Yeah.
Are you setting yourself up for success, or are these dysfunctions holding you back?
And more importantly, what can you do to break free from these patterns
Yes.
and build a team that truly thrives?
I love that.
I think that's a great place to maybe pause for now and
Yeah, take a breath.
take a breath. We've covered a lot of ground here,
Yeah, we have.
but there's still so much more to unpack.
So much more.
So stay tuned because we're going to be diving even deeper in part 2.
Can't wait.
It's inspiring to see that kind of transformation.
Right.
And it speaks to the larger message of the book.
Mhm.
This isn't just about, fixing a dysfunctional tech company. It's
Right.
about tapping into the power of teamwork
Yeah.
in any setting.
Lencioni gives us a framework that applies to,
Yeah.
sports teams, community groups, even families. Think about it.
Right.
Haven't we all experienced these
Yeah.
same dysfunctions in our own lives?
Totally. Like that time I was on a volunteer committee
Mm-hmm.
and we were trying to organize this big fundraiser
Right.
and everybody had all these different ideas.
Yeah.
But nobody wanted to step on anyone's toes.
Oh, yeah.
So we just kind of danced around
Right.
the real issues.
Yeah.
We were so afraid of conflict
Yeah.
that we ended up with this watered down plan that
Yeah.
nobody was really excited about.
That's a perfect example of how fear of conflict can stifle creativity and lead to mediocre results.
Totally.
And it really highlights the importance of leadership
Yeah.
in fostering a culture where
Mm,
healthy debate is not only welcomed,
right.
but encouraged.
Which brings us back to Catherine, right?
Yes.
Her leadership, it's a masterclass in navigating these challenges.
Oh, yeah.
She's not afraid to confront,
Yeah.
difficult issues head on,
Yeah.
even when it makes people uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
She pushes the team
Yeah.
out of their comfort zones.
Right.
And that's what ultimately forces them to grow and evolve.
She's like a sculptor, chipping away at the rough edges to reveal the masterpiece within.
I love that. But it's not just about her initial actions, is it?
No.
It's about creating a sustainable culture of teamwork.
Right.
It's about constantly reinforcing those healthy habits
Yeah.
and addressing dysfunctions as they arise.
Exactly. Building a high-performing team isn't a one-time fix.
No.
It's an ongoing process. It's
Yeah.
like tending a garden,
Right.
You got to weed out the negativity,
Yeah.
nurture the positive,
Mm.
and constantly adjust to the changing conditions.
And that's where Lencioni's book really shines.
Yeah.
He doesn't just give us the diagnosis, right?
No.
He gives us a toolkit
Yes.
for addressing these challenges.
And the beauty of it is it's not rocket science.
Right.
No. It's about simple, practical steps
Yeah.
that anyone can take. It's about creating a space
Yeah.
where people feel safe to be vulnerable, to share their ideas,
Yeah.
to disagree respectfully,
Right.
It's about setting clear expectations
Yeah.
and holding each other accountable.
Okay, but let's get real for a second.
Okay.
Reading about it is one thing,
Yeah.
but actually putting these principles into practice, that's a whole other challenge.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
It takes, conscious effort
Yeah.
and a willingness to challenge our own assumptions about how teams should function.
So where do we even begin?
Well, Lencioni provides a great starting point with his team assessment tool.
Okay.
It's a series of questions
Yeah.
designed to help you gauge your team's level of dysfunction
Mm.
in each of the 5 areas.
I love that he provides a concrete tool like that.
Yeah.
It's not just theory.
No.
It's something you can actually use
Right.
to assess your own team dynamics.
And it's designed to be a collaborative exercise.
Okay.
You go through it together in a team, discuss the results,
Mm-hmm.
and use those insights to identify areas for improvement.
Yeah.
It's like holding up a mirror to your team and saying, okay, here's what we need to work on.
So it's not just about individual self-reflection.
No.
It's about creating a shared understanding
Yeah,
of the team's strengths and weaknesses.
precisely. And from there, you can start to brainstorm
Yeah.
specific strategies for addressing those areas.
So give us some examples. What are some actionable steps we can take
Yeah.
to tackle these dysfunctions?
Well, let's start with trust. Okay.
If that's an issue,
Yeah.
then focus on creating opportunities for vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
This could be as simple as sharing personal stories during meetings
Yeah.
or doing team building exercises
Right.
that encourage people to step outside of their comfort zones.
I remember once doing a team building exercise
Yeah.
where we all had to share our biggest fear.
Wow.
It was surprisingly powerful.
Yeah,
Just hearing each other's vulnerabilities created this like instant bond of empathy and understanding.
exactly. And it doesn't have to be anything dramatic.
Right.
Even small acts of vulnerability can have a ripple effect.
So true.
So true.
What about fear of conflict? How do you like encourage
Yeah.
healthy debate without things, spiraling out of control?
It starts with setting clear expectations.
Okay.
Explicitly state that disagreement is welcome
Yeah.
and encouraged.
Okay.
You can even set ground rules for constructive criticism.
I like the idea of ground rules.
Yeah.
It creates a safe space for people to voice their concerns.
Oh.
Right.
Without feeling like they're going to be attacked.
And remember, it's not about winning or losing an argument.
Right.
It's about finding the best solution for the team.
What about lack of commitment?
Yeah.
How do you ensure everyone is truly bought in and aligned with the goals?
Clarity is key.
Okay.
Make sure everyone understands the team's goals,
Mm-hmm.
their individual roles,
Right.
and how it all fits together, and involve the team in the decision-making process.
Okay.
When people feel like their voices are heard,
Right.
they're more likely to be committed to the outcome.
It's about empowering the team,
Yes.
not just dictating from on high.
What about avoidance of accountability?
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, how do you create a culture where people feel comfortable holding each other accountable?
Yeah.
Start with clear expectations and metrics.
Okay.
If everyone knows what's expected of them
Mhm.
and how their performance will be measured,
Yeah.
it makes it easier to have those accountability conversations.
Right.
Regular progress reviews,
Okay.
where team members can provide feedback to each other, can also be helpful.
So it's not just about the leader holding people accountable.
Oh.
It's about creating a culture
Yes,
of peer-to-peer accountability.
exactly. And don't forget to celebrate successes as a team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That reinforces the idea of shared responsibility and accountability.
And finally, inattention to results.
Yes, the final dysfunction.
How do you keep the team focused on the big picture, on those shared goals?
Regularly revisit the team's mission and goals.
Okay.
Make sure they're visible.
Yeah.
They're top of mind.
Right.
Celebrate milestones and achievements that align with those goals. And create a system for tracking progress and celebrating wins.
It's about keeping that North Star in sight
Yes.
and reminding everyone why they're on this journey together.
It's about creating a sense of shared purpose
Yeah.
and making sure everyone feels like they're contributing to something meaningful.
So it's really a multifaceted approach.
There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
It's about taking those core principles
Yeah.
from Lencioni's model
Yeah.
and tailoring them
Yeah.
to your team's specific needs and challenges.
And it's about remembering that building a high-performing team is a journey,
Yes.
not a destination.
It's about constantly learning, adapting,
Yeah.
and striving to be better together.
It's about the small, everyday actions
Yeah.
that over time create a culture of trust,
Yeah.
open communication,
Yes.
and shared accountability.
It's about celebrating the wins,
Yeah.
learning from the losses,
Yeah.
and never giving up on the pursuit of teamwork excellence.
It really is a journey.
It is.
And that's what makes the 5 dysfunctions of a team so valuable.
Yeah.
It's not a book you read once and put on the shelf.
Right.
It's a resource you can keep coming back to, like a trusted guide
Yeah.
on your team's path to success.
What I find so fascinating is how Lencioni...
Takes these like complex team dynamics and boils them down to a framework that's both practical and memorable.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like those 5 dysfunctions,
Yeah.
they're like a mental checklist you can use
Right.
to diagnose problems and chart a course for improvement.
Totally.
I have to say,
Yeah.
those 5 dysfunctions have definitely stuck with me.
Yeah.
And now I find myself spotting them everywhere I go.
Right.
It's like I've developed this X-ray vision
It's true.
for dysfunctional teams.
It's amazing how once you become aware of these patterns, you can't unsee them.
You can't. It's true.
And that's the first step towards creating positive change, right?
Yeah,
Awareness.
totally. But Lencioni goes beyond just pointing out the problems.
Right?
He gives you a framework for addressing them,
Right.
starting with that that foundation of trust.
And he emphasizes
Yeah.
that it's a pyramid structure for a reason.
Right.
You can't just jump to the top
Right.
and expect to achieve results if you haven't addressed those foundational issues.
It's like trying to build a house without a solid foundation.
Exactly.
It's just going to collapse eventually.
Well, so let's flip the script for a moment.
Okay.
Think about a team you've been on
Okay.
that was actually highly functional.
Okay.
What made that team different?
Okay.
What were the dynamics that contributed to its success?
I'm thinking about a project I worked on a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
We had a really diverse team,
Okay.
different personalities, different backgrounds,
Yeah.
but there was this like underlying sense of trust and respect.
Right.
We were comfortable challenging each other's ideas,
Yeah.
but it was always done in a constructive way.
Right.
And we were all aligned around a common goal.
Yeah.
So individual egos never got in the way.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You were living the principles of the Five Dysfunctions
I guess we were.
without even realizing it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a great reminder that high-performing teams don't just happen by accident. They're built on a foundation of trust, open communication, and shared accountability.
And having a leader who understands these principles
Yes.
and actively fosters that kind of culture.
Absolutely. Leadership is crucial. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the CEO to make a difference.
Right.
Anyone on the team can be a catalyst for positive change.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So what's one small step you can take today, listener,
Yeah.
to start addressing these dysfunctions in your own teams? Maybe it's initiating a conversation about trust
Yeah.
or setting some ground rules for a healthy conflict.
Or maybe it's just taking the time to truly listen to your teammates.
Yeah.
To understand their perspectives and
Yeah.
to appreciate their contributions.
It's about those small, everyday actions that, over time, can have a transformative impact.
So remember, the journey to teamwork excellence starts with a single step.
What will yours be?
We hope this deep dive has given you some valuable insights
Yeah.
and inspired you to take action. Until next time.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.